my goal is to try to get people who can't understand where we're coming from, where you see what's going on in the world right now. I panicked a little bit. Hey man, it brings back the old days. But
I was always ready to go. Anytime you show up to the party with this, it better be drinkable.
Oh, there's that cinnamon.
Yo, what up?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Mentalities podcast. We're back at it again.
Hey,
I said it every week like it's a surprise.
Hey, we ain't gonna leave you guys hanging.
Where the fuck we going?
Yeah. You like that side chick that you just can't let go.
Thank you guys for tuning in week after week. I want to give a shout out to the people who have been rolling with us from day one and still promote, repost, do all that shit for us. And I'm hooking them up with free merch this week.
Yeah. We got some gifts coming your way. And you know who you are. And you know what's fucked up, James? Is I got like some of my best friends that never heard an episode. That's fucked up. Yeah, and I'm constant. And then they're like, "Can I come on?" I'm like, "Yo, what do we talk about?" Oh no, I guess you can't come on. Yeah. You know what I mean? You're not prepared, dude. Yeah, but we're hooking them up with free merch though, just to show love. And I want to say, everybody was surprised. They didn't expect shit in return. So I want to give a huge shout out for that. But I also want to just say, merch is live. So if you do want some merch. Yeah, hit us up. If you're watching the video, man, my boy's wearing one of them right now. So go on and check that out. High quality shirts too. I say that, but you know they're like t-shirts, but high quality t-shirts. It's not like premium cotton. Yeah, high grade Egyptian cotton. You know what I mean? 100 thread count. It's that soft feel. Oh, it's that soft feel. No. We got everything though. You want to hit us with a random color? Yeah. Hit us up. We'll get it for you. Let us know, man. And also, man, just so you guys know, man, them shits is going on sale. $15 a pop. Fitting. So, you know what I mean? If you guys are interested out there, you want to support us, man, please feel free. Drop us a DM, drop us a text if you know us personally. Leave a comment on the YouTube. And do something. You know, we'll hit you up. We'll get back with you. We'll get it to you for sure. All right. And so with that said, James, I think it's time that we get in the pocket-ish. That was stupid. Pocket-ish. We're in the pocket. We're gonna stay in the pocket. Yeah. We're in the pocket now, but we're gonna fucking ride that pocket out. So what do we got today? All right, man. So we got a little something from the Mulholland Distillery, and peep the YouTube. You want to see what the bottle looks like? This shit is literally called American Whiskey, but it's 100 proof, 50% alcohol by volume. So this ain't no joke. And hold that up for the camera one more time. There you go. That is a hand scribbled calligraphy if I've ever seen one. Check it out. That is straight from the meeting to start the company, straight to the bottle. Hey, and you know, we were saying initially, like they weren't trying to thrill you with the bottle here at all. You know what I mean? I'm not opposed to what they did. I don't hate it. However, I'm like, this looks like it was like my 7th grade child was like, yo, I'm practicing cursive. I wrote Mulholland. You know what I mean? Which, again, not hating on it, but, you know, for me, the reason I bought this bottle, and let me jump into that a little bit. The reason I bought this bottle was because, number one, I watched a movie by David Lynch called Mulholland Drive. So that stood out. It's L.A. City. You know what I mean? Gotta love that. Those two things really were the defining factors on why I was like, you know what, let me look at it at least. And then I read a little bit about it and I was like, you know what, sounds like something we could get in the pocket with. So presentation wise, where are you sitting in? It's very generic, extremely generic. It's ultra generic. Yeah. Ultra basic. I'm sorry. And I don't necessarily want to say that's a bad thing. But man, what you bring to the table better be damn good if this is what your bottle looks like. It better be damn good because it's ultra basic, and I can respect that. Right. But the whiskey itself, because like I think a lot of people who listen, they're like, okay, what are you guys drinking? Scotch, drinking bourbon? What are you drinking? American whiskey. Yeah, we don't know. It's American whiskey. Yeah. We don't know. And on top of that, it's out of L.A., Downey, California. Yeah. Hey, shout out to my grandma, man. She's holding down Downey, so I love that. You know what I mean? You know, so it's very straightforward, which it was just fine. I'm okay with that. And I kind of, we're gonna get into the everything else with it, but if it doesn't hold up, how hard did you really try? Yeah,
so we're gonna get into. Let's get into the nose of this thing.
Well, let me just say this last little piece, man. I think like in today's whiskey market, presentation means a lot as far as getting it off the shelf, right? Like I am walking through. There's thousands of different bottles in there. What am I gonna pick? I picked this one, so it did speak to me. So I guess they're speaking to somebody, but I think that's a very niche market. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind. Again, if you're listening to the podcast, great. However, if you're watching the video, if you see what we're talking about here, you would understand where I'm coming from. This is how I signed my name.
I mean, everything down to the fucking milliliters is handwritten.
Yeah, you know what?
It's not like a font.
Yeah,
it's clearly
like handwritten, and they just like copy and paste that shit into a fucking label.
Yeah, I mean, so we're gonna get into it, but yeah, it does speak to some people, I'd imagine.
And I'd say the presentation of the actual whiskey, I like that it's lighter. It's not super dark. You can see right through the bottle.
Looks like a bourbon to me.
Yeah. I mean,
a little darker.
You think it's darker than a bourbon?
No, I mean like it's darker than a Scotch.
Well, it depends. Some of them.
You know,
you're probably right.
It just seems a little darker.
It does, but not. It's not dark. Like, yeah, I'll run with that. I was gonna say something else, but that'd get me in trouble, so I'll leave it alone.
So we obviously got these glasses, new and improved glasses from Travis.
Travis, thank you.
Shout out.
Let's go and sniff that a little bit.
Hello.
That shit went up my nose a little bit. Yeah. Hello. we got well acquainted. You know what I mean?
And how are you, Ken? How you doing?
How are you? I do like the fact that these glasses like
neutralize everything.
Kind of push the real alcohol sensation away from you.
You know what I noticed? Now that we have these new glasses, I want to put my nose closer.
Yeah. I was
so like I'm damn near in the glass.
Yeah. I told you I snorted a little bit. Hit a little whiskey line.
It's a good smell. I like the smell.
It's fairly sweet. You get some sweet notes going on there.
I get a little bit of the like the oak, the cask. I get the cask on this. So a little sweet, a little cask.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm not going to oppose that.
And if I'm being honest right now, I'm getting a little bit of that burn.
A little bit.
Like my nose hairs.
But just a tad. Just a dab will do you.
But on the back, just on the very end.
Yeah. You notice it after you remove the glass, I think.
And then it just hits you real quick.
Boom.
Burn.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad at. I like that shit. I like that burn that it brings.
I think that's a big in part by the glass.
Yeah.
Right? But also, I think that's a truer understanding of what it is. Right? You get a little more intimate with it. You get to sit down and get to know it a little bit. Hey.
What fruits are you tasting?
A little fruit? Let me see.
Or smelling?
I'm getting
a little dried apricot.
Yeah.
A little dried apricot.
Yeah. Citrusy.
Citrus.
Apricot not citrus?
No.
I don't know what the fuck.
More like a peach.
I thought peach was kind of citrusy.
I guess if it's unripe.
I don't know, man. Don't ask me about fruit. Look at me. Does it look like I'm eating fruit?
I'm smelling like an apricot. So if anybody knows what apricot is,
people laughed at me.
I'm getting apricot.
No, I was gonna go
only because it has a little burn, and I associate that to the little tart.
Like I'm getting a little grapefruit. A little grapefruit, maybe.
I hate grapefruit.
I don't like eating grapefruit. I don't mind the taste. No, I'd eat a grape. Some other grapefruit.
I actually like the smell of this.
I do too. It's not bad.
It's actually like, it's like, it's inviting still, but there, like, okay, be careful because like we said, it's 50%.
50%,
and you can smell a little bit of that hazard. There's a little hazard there. So we're gonna go ahead now. Let's hit the palate.
Let's hit the palate, man. Salud.
Cheers.
Let me get it better. First, not bad. Not bad. It's
still like
it gives you a little burn.
It's still opening.
Mm-hmm.
It's still expanding the flavors. This right here, it's got a little kick to it. Not like a deterring kick. It's like really strong flavored flavored.
Yeah,
the flavor's there, but it's not like
a lot of flavor.
Yeah, but it's not like a disgusting type of gagging flavor.
Very like alcohol flavor-ish.
Right. But it is very like it almost just continues to expand the flavor.
I feel like it's somewhat disguised on the alcohol is disguised by the sweet maple, those kind of notes you're getting, right?
I'm getting the maple flavor now.
Yeah, which is nice. I think we can always appreciate the little maple vibes you get. Let me see. Let me get another.
And I think it has that perfect kick. It has a really nice kick to it that I think a lot of people are familiar with. Doesn't matter what liquor you're really drinking. This has the kick. It has the kick that every liquor has.
I like it.
I like it too.
I like the taste. I like the taste more than presentation or nose. The nose wasn't terrible,
but it was kind of too soft.
Yeah, a little soft, right?
The nose was soft. The flavor,
the taste, though,
the flavor kicks the door down.
Yeah, it does
in a good way.
Yeah, and for being as strong as it is, I don't think you would think it is.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah,
I wouldn't know.
If you, again, I've said this many times, but like if you made, I'm trying to think. Let's say, I wouldn't pour this in Coke, but like if you made a beverage, like let's say an old fashioned with this, I think you might be onto something with old fashioned here.
Oh, it's strong enough to stand on its own.
Yeah. Old fashioned's whiskey, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought so.
Yeah.
Like, fucking double check for I look like a fool.
Yeah, no. This definitely, if you did make a cocktail, it would stand out.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. It has that real nice kick to it, and again, it's not a strong kick. It will kick your door down.
Yeah.
But it's also like it's just home. It's like if someone kicked their door down to their own home.
Yeah,
I'm just home.
Yeah, I kicked it down. I was too trashed,
but I'm here.
And I can just knock out on the floor.
That's
you know what I mean? Or a couch or a bed, wherever. It's mine.
Yeah, it's got a real strong...
I look forward to coming home one day from a strenuous day at work, deciding, you know what? I'm going to open the door like a gentleman, Minamine style. And once I get in there, though, I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm gonna make an old-fashioned. I'm going to grab a bottle of Mulholland Distilling's American Whiskey, and I'm going to use that. Because I think you add that with the cherry, with the orange zest, you get that going there. I think it would really just set it off, the aromatics. You know what I mean? You got all of that going on. I think it would be machine.
I think next episode we should try.
You want to make an old fashioned
on air to like make a nice old fashioned.
Let's make an old fashioned.
Let's learn.
I got a homegirl who bartends. I will ask her, hey,
what do we need?
What are the tools of the trade, and then what do you suggest?
Yeah,
but let's do it like legit. If we're gonna do it, like I don't want this like syrup. Nah, we're gonna make it all natural.
Crush up
you know who we are.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna muddle it in a glass.
Yeah,
we'll have to pour it in a different glass. Can't do it in these.
We're doing raised big ass glasses.
Yeah, we'll do it. Those glasses are built to last.
Those are built to take a beating.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Muddle the shit out of those glasses.
Yeah,
and they won't break.
Muddle the fuck it out of cherry. All right. Yeah. No. Yeah, I like your challenge. Let's do it. Let's get it done. I think we might have a special guest next week.
Yeah, next week I think we'll have a special guest for you guys.
So that individual will get to partake in our, and we'll see. I went to this place, man, and they make these smoky old fashions where they bring out like a board, they light some rosemary on fire, and they get the smoke all in the glass. Right, like they light it like not on fire, but it's on fire, but it's like smoking, right?
Yeah.
And then they put the glass over it, let it sit in there, and then they pour everything in it from there. We're not going to do that, but I just wanted to mention it. That I've had it.
We're all blowing cigar smoke in the fucking glass.
Yeah, for real. I got cigarettes too, man. Let's get a mixture going here. Let's see. Perfect cocktail. 20 to 80. You know what I mean? Anyway, so what does that bring us to? So we've hit you with the presentation. We hit you with the nose. We palated it. I think that's going to bring us to our overall perspective on the matter.
I'll go first.
Please do.
Okay, so the flavor is my favorite part.
I couldn't agree more.
The flavor kicks the door down in a good way. It makes me feel like I'm drinking some good old fashioned American whiskey. Like I know.
It?
Yeah,
I don't. But I'll let you talk. I do apologize. This is not the presidential debate.
Well. That's a good point, and I appreciate you for having the common civilization,
right? You know,
right?
Yeah.
But But when I say American whiskey, I'm talking like this is along the lines of a bourbon.
Yeah, okay.
Right? So bourbon to me is American.
Mm-hmm. It is.
So this to me rides that same wave. This to me has a really distinct kick to it that I enjoy. The bottle is shit. I'm not into this.
I don't mind the bottles. Go ahead. I do apologize.
I'm not into the labeling. The labeling, I think, I mean, a little more effort could go probably a long way. You know, because I think what they're doing here is more of a niche market or niche, right?
However
the fuck you like to say it, right? So I think a little bit more here would really make the bottle stand out because it's not a bad whiskey. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give this a 7.
Damn. Okay, that's not bad.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Not bad for what? Oh, we didn't discuss price point. I think it was like about $27.
Yeah, and price point's good. So this right here is a whiskey that, because I don't want you to pour me a glass of whiskey and this shit don't kick me. Kick a little bit, I can handle that kick, but give me some flavor. And what I've tasted off the front is I've tasted a little apricot and
citrus.
It's citrus. And then what I tasted, I really did taste a little bit of that maple.
Yeah.
A little bit of that maple on the back.
Sure.
So it has flavor, it has a kick. It's a decent whiskey. And if it's versatile enough to make an old fashioned to stand out, I'm okay with that. We'll find out. Maybe we'll make
a couple old fashions.
Yeah, maybe we'll make a couple with a couple different ones.
We have several whiskeys that we have not completed yet.
Yeah, so I'll go ahead and give this a 7 because I think it's a pretty good whiskey.
All right. Thank you for that review there, James. All right, I'm going to jump in here. And like I said, so for me, the bottle is a standard bottle. The labeling, I agree. Yes, it seems very simplistic. And me being someone I consider myself a minimalist, I find it hard to be upset with them for being very minimal in the label. Yeah, I do think you could have minimalistic views on it without writing a fucking name in cursive and calling it a day. You know what I mean? But it did, however, catch my eye. So it's hard for me to necessarily hate on it because it got me to look at it. And then there's a combination with that and the price point. You know what I mean? You see it in the store and I was like, what is that one? So there's that. But to James's point, yeah, I do think, and my assumptions are that this is a smaller distillery. This is something that they probably felt like, hey, you know what? We're trying to get off the ground. Something James and I were talking about, I imagine in the future they will probably rebrand as far as the labeling and things of that go if they are successful. And I'll give you my opinion on if I think they will in a minute. So that's my opinion on the presentation. Again, overall, nose, taste. The taste is, as James said, that is their best selling point. And really, I imagine that's what you're in the business of. When I got this bottle, before we opened it, I said, James, this shit better really hit hard because everything else is not. And as far as taste goes, I'm not mad at this at all. Especially to be more of like a bourbon-esque type of vibe. American whiskeys. It's very, it's smooth, but not too smooth, if I would. It's especially for the price that you're paying. Normally you pay $26, you know what I mean? You're in a little bit of a battle to get through it. From the first taste to now, no complaints. Very, very manageable. The maple and the sweet notes really mix itself well with kind of the little peppery, I guess, aspect you kind of get from it. And it's minimal as far as peppery goes, but it's there. So with that said, I'm going to wrap that up. I'm just going on and on. I'm going to go. I'm going to give it a 7 as well, James. I wanted to go a little lower initially, but the flavor is really what I think. That's the biggest category, right? Like that's where that's the meat and potatoes of the whole thing. I don't care what you put it in. What do I care? Give a shit. The flavor is good. The flavor is there. There's some things they can work on, but the flavor is there, and it's not too expensive.
Right.
So I'm not mad at it. I gave it a 7 as well.
So that's an average of a 7.
Is it? Did you calculate that?
Well, I was waiting for you to do the math. So.
Yeah, and I still am. I have no idea.
So a 7 and a 7. And
7 and 7, 14.
14 divided by 2
is 7.
7. Average is 7.
Yeah, it was 7, dude.
Yeah.
Motherfucking 7. You know?
Yeah, so it's a pretty decent whiskey.
So look, if you guys go out and you run across a bottle of Mulholland Distillery's American whiskey, I suggest you give it a shot. I think you'll be happy. Especially if you plan to make an old-fashioned. I really sincerely think that it would be a great addition to your old-fashioned game.
And if you want to support local distilleries, maybe even give it a shot because of that.
If you are listening in California, because we do have worldwide listeners, man. I got somebody from Tokyo the other day, like, hey, I love your thing. I had to use Google Translate, but yeah, man, we're just getting a lot of love out there. It's a great vibe. They like the Centauri, though.
No, they don't. No one likes Centauri.
No, they like Centauri, dude.
Oh, wow. Who the fuck likes Centauri?
Nobody likes Centauri.
Maybe not the Hibiki.
Yeah, maybe something else. Maybe we got the wrong bottle. I don't know. But anyway, man, so that'll conclude our whiskey time there. Again, thank you guys for joining. It's always a pleasure. Thank you for getting in the pocket with us. Moving forward. So, a little something I thought we'd bring up a little bit as far as current events goes is the presidential debate. Now, I won't jump into a side, whether I'm Republican, Democrat. You should fucking probably be able to figure that out.
You're obviously Republican.
Clearly, dude, okay? The point I'm making, though, is just simply, you know, man, in today's climate, things are very odd, I think, right? Like, things are a lot different. However, man, I'm listening to this debate, and I couldn't help, and I'm hearing the way these guys are answering the questions that are being asked. And I'm thinking to myself, here we are. These are supposed to be two people that can run one of the most dominant countries in the world. And they can't answer a fucking question correctly. Like, number one, it's bickering between them. And then when you look at the reality, no one's really answering a question. And even if they are, they're answering it to spite the other individual. And I thought, you know, man, and to me, what I took from it was, number one, so I'm in a car because I had shit to do. But I'm in a car and I'm watching this shit like via YouTube, and I'm like, I can outclass both of these dudes, and it wouldn't be hard. And it's not like patting me on the back. I think fucking most of the people in the world could. I think if you took a moment to understand who you're trying to appeal, like I tell everyone that I deal with, especially in the work world. Know your audience, right? Like, you got to know your audience. You got to appeal to your audience. That should be your key factors, is who are you speaking to and what do they want? These guys are speaking to each other. So what a waste of fucking everyone else's time listening to it. I don't care about if Joe Biden's son had a cocaine problem. I don't fucking care. It has no bearing on what we're doing here. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care if Donald Trump hated fucking Hillary Clinton. We're past that now. We're on to the next level, man. It doesn't matter. But what I challenged myself with was hearing the question and creating a response on my own, or what I think would have been a more sufficient response. And each time, it was like a walk in the fucking park. You know what I mean? Like, and I don't do this. I don't give speeches. None of this.
Do you think there's a tier to, like, because there's a way, like, someone who is established in themselves has to answer, right? Like, if I was to ask you, hey,
sure,
what do you think about this company?
Right.
You would have to answer a certain way.
Well, it depends on my relationship with the company.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. You're still establishing yourself within a company.
Oh, okay. So you mean if I worked for the company and then you asked me, you got to play a role.
You got to play a role. When you're inside of the system, right?
You have to play a role.
And you have a current president and a former vice president who have already passed that level.
They're in that world. That's a good question.
I think that they don't have the same like
they're already in it.
They don't have the same cautious like tendencies that you would require to answer a question like civil.
Well, I think that should have gave them more ground to understand. The whole purpose of this is to appeal to the American people,
because they're already, and it should have been. But I think once you get up there, it became one against one.
And can we say this? Because it is that. Like, there's no other options. It's not like I get to vote for someone else now. This is what it is. It's these two.
Is Kanye out? Is Kanye out of the running?
No, man. Kanye was never in the running, dog. That guy, something else. But, you know, it is that, James. That's a good point. It's like South Park said years ago. It's between a turd sandwich and a fucking douchebag. You know what I mean? And that's literally what the fuck we're dealing with. And it seems consecutively, this is what you deal with. You're just dealing with assholes, man, that don't have a fucking clue. Which makes me think, James, you recently watched The Great Gatsby.
I did.
So you understand, I think in that movie it highlights kind of what we're talking about. It highlights the social hierarchy in which is in our country, in our society as Americans. I think there's a different world amongst people that are in that world, right? And all of them aren't born in that world. However, I think if you get to that level, I think you had to be introduced to that level of the world. And I'm talking about your people that are your influencers. And I'm not, no Instagram influencers. Don't twerk and fucking influence me. I'm talking people that actually influence shit that actually happens behind it while we're distracted by the twerking. There are people that are actually influencing laws and different things that are actually going to fucking impact all of the shit we do. You know what I mean? And I guess, you know, so understanding that's where I come to the point. So in that movie, there's a scene, as we were talking about, where Gatsby and Tom Buchanan, say his name for me.
Tom Buchanan.
Buchanan. They're in this hotel, whatever. Gatsby's all about hot for this chick. He says, tell him you never loved him. You know what I mean? She ain't do it. She can't say like I never loved him. And then Tom starts fucking basically getting in Gatsby's face. Like, not in his face, very civilized. But letting him know, you don't get it. This ain't your world. Gatsby loses his shit. And that was the breaking point. That was the separating factor in the situation, was you are a beast. You don't live like us, and you don't know how, and you never will. But to me, what I see now is the vice versa. Is they don't live like us, and they never will. We are the majority of the people here, right? Clearly, if you're high up 1%, and say you have the 10% underneath that. Well, that's only 10%. Imagine the 90% underneath that live similar in some fashion. You have your extremes, obviously, your high 88s, 89s, and your fucking 2s and 3s, you know what I mean? Obviously, you know, but for the main part, in the middle, we are the majority of what that is. And I didn't think at any point in that, Joe Biden at one point stopped and said, hey, we should mention the people. But I thought that was like a grab at like, oh, yeah, we're not doing it. We should say that. But they never really did, you know? What did we get out of any of that? Except for Proud Boys stand by and stand up, or whatever the fuck he said, stand by. Fucking, they asked this motherfucker Trump, like, do you support racism? Will you denounce it now? And he did not, dude. Like, this is what I mean. This is the world we fucking live in. This man didn't do it on the most public stage you could ever be on, and didn't do it.
Yeah, and you know, I attribute that a lot to the just the mixed demographic of the United States. Yeah, because obviously it's the reason why he's in office. It's the reason why we can't move to a certain point. But like for me, I'm just gonna be honest. For me, I hate this time of year. I hate every 4 years. I hate this point because it's like we should be celebrating. Like, we can't have pride in the president because we're so busy smearing the other.
Well, that's supposed to become. Yeah.
Because in reality, there's things about the Republican Party that are good. There's things about the Democratic Party that are good. Yeah. But we as Americans have just become so like, I'm going to drag you through the mud for this year. Like, for the whole year. The last year of the president's, their presidency, it's dragging that party
campaign.
It's a smear campaign, but you're dragging them through the mud. So if it's a Democrat in office, you drag them through the mud the last year to gear yourself up for the election, right?
Yeah.
And it's ugly because we as Americans should be more united in the fact that what do we need?
What do we need, and what are we doing?
And who's the right person? So we need to start looking at more of that. But you look at some of the, let's dial down this debate, right? If it was gonna be Ken against Anthony, right? And
it looked like it did last night,
right? And you go back to like episode 17 maybe, or like you can really dial that back and put it on how we see things. You can have a subject, but in the back of your head, you're gonna know, oh, he's gonna get eaten up. Like he can't on this stage, right? The first debate, if you can make someone look foolish, that's it. You might change the views.
It's like any other thing.
Right. So you can sway a lot, right? So you don't got to be civilized. Because you know what? I'll tell you right now. Americans aren't looking for someone to be civilized.
We're not classy like that.
We're not.
No. Maybe the top, let's say 10%.
Yeah. But the rest of us.
But that's not who they're fucking trying to get to vote.
We're not looking for a civilized debate. Who the fuck is looking for that? Look at our TV. Look at our reality TV. Look at the drama we're engulfed with.
We want shit.
We want shit. So everybody who's like, oh, it's hard to watch. Yeah, but you turn on the TV and you watch it every day. You watch it in a different form.
That's a good point.
You watch it in a different form, and that's what I'm saying. We're so conditioned to it that when it happens on the grand scale, all we can say is, "Wow, that was kind of a mess." But that was your Thursday night.
We post it, we make memes, we do all this, but like you just said, I said, "Oh, this is shit," and I watched the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if you were done. I didn't mean to interrupt.
To me, it's just like we have to start expecting better. Like it doesn't matter who your horse is in the race, right?
Shouldn't
like, it doesn't matter. Like if you're a Trump supporter, okay, cool. But when it comes down to the debate, how do they answer the questions? What are the facts? Like that's the most important part. What are the facts? How do they respond? How do they represent you? All these things have to factor in. It's not just we are so blind to following a party.
Blindly following.
We're blindly following. Like you identify if you identify with as a Republican,
then that's it.
You blindly follow that.
Same to the other side.
Same to the Democrat. If you're a Democrat, you think you just blindly follow. But it's not about that.
Right. It's at the core of each of them, James, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I imagine at the core of each party, the core, not saying what the fucking extremists are doing on either side, the far right, the far left, fuck all of that, right? But like, it's for the benefit of the country.
The core should be us,
which is well, and I think we would sway in that regard, right? Like, okay, like I'm not heavy on either side. I don't really give a fuck about a party. I don't necessarily need to identify with a party. I know what I think should be what. I think parties are a bad idea. I think having these parties are a bad idea. It's like a gang. It's like a fucking gang. Hey, no, that's my squad, so I might not like it, but I'm gonna ride with him any fucking way because that's my fucking boy. You know what I mean? Is that a good thing? I don't think so. I think the Electoral College is a shitty idea. Or maybe at one point it made sense, but I think in today's climate it doesn't. I don't think it does at all. Yeah. When you consider the fact that these small countries small states that don't, like 7 of them don't equal California, but they have more influence than California. And as far as an electoral college aspect goes, not collectively they don't, but individually, you know, they're equal, or you know, whatever, it varies. But why? Look how many people are here, how much more of the population had voted, and yet it's not represented the same.
Right.
That's weird. You know what I mean? And I just think like James is kind of getting at, man. You know, we sit here and we look at. We're so worried about the drama. Fuck that. Like, you know what? Because the majority of us, man, let's just call it what it is. The majority of us don't know what the fuck these people are talking about. You know what I mean? We're not tuned in regularly. We're not following the real issues. We're not following what they've done. And another thing James said is you get up there and you say whatever you want. No one's fact checking anything, right? It becomes on you as an individual to do it, and the majority of us aren't gonna fucking do that. And so one says this and the other says you didn't. It just becomes, well, now again, what party am I riding with? Who did I like? Because they're both just boom and backing up, and it's going nowhere.
It'd be interesting to put a point system up to where like, oh, you made a good point. Bing.
Well, I mean, like a factual point.
A factual
point. It was
a
real good point, and it was true. And I don't imagine any of them would have shit.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I mean.
It'd be cool to know like how many true points you made and how many you earned over the course of the debate.
But that makes more sense as far as and then fucking man.
We all like game shows.
Yeah.
America loves game shows.
Yeah.
Turn that bitch into a game show.
You could. It'd be better than the shit I saw the other day, man.
It was terrible.
But it's fucked up to me that like here we are, two people right here. We can sit here and then James and I think me and you have a high level of respect for like competition. I want to beat you, and I don't want to cheat you. I want to beat you straight the fuck on. If it's by a technicality, we're doing it again. You know what I mean? I don't want it that way. I want to beat you because I want to, and if I didn't, then I want to learn from that and I want to come back and get better. Yeah. I don't feel like the individuals we have that are running right now feel that way at all. I think they're absolutely fine with cheating. I don't think they give a fuck about it. Like you said, smear campaigns and all of that. And to me, it's disappointing, man. It's disappointing that as a country that this is what we've come to. And I mean I live in California, so it's a left state. I'm aware of that. However, I hear shit like clean your forest. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, dog? You know what I mean? Like clean the fucking forest. James, we live here. We see where this shit is happening. Yeah. We see this shit every year. We're not in a fucking forest, dude. You know what I mean? I don't live in a forest. It's up the street from me. Yeah. I've seen it for years. When I'm walking to the bus stop as a kid in high school, I had a white shirt on. My shirt's brown. I didn't live nowhere near a fucking forest. You know what I mean? Like, what are you talking about, dog? So, you know what I mean? Like, I just think, again, we deal with people who have opinions that don't know shit. And I think that's the most toxic thing you can ever run into. Someone who wants to weigh in on something but has no idea what they're talking about. And then wants to tell you I'm right and sway you to that. And then, fuck it, man. I'm disappointed in America right now. And I'll be honest with you. And I think that was one of the topics they said. Like, oh, people want to leave. No, we don't want to leave because I think it's a shitty place. I just think the people running it are so disillusioned with what the reality of what we are.
Yeah, and I will say this. It don't matter where you go. Like, the things that are wrong with our country are everywhere. It's just how you choose to look at them. But the thing is, like, you don't gotta leave California. You don't gotta leave the country.
California's expensive. I'll leave on that alone.
Oh yeah, you leave on. You could leave on that alone. But I'm just saying, like, you don't have to leave the country.
No.
Like the shit is not. It's always been what it was, right?
Yeah.
And that's why, like,
no, you're right.
One of the things that makes me like, and I'll just say this, and it may be the most backwards thinking that maybe you think I have. Election years, I'm the least most American advocate of ever. Like I'm almost embarrassed to be American on election years, because I just don't like how ugly and divided, like we're a country, but yet we're self-divided. Let's
talk about a little bit of the things we've seen this year then, because I agree with you. And you know what? I would say this. Like, I say I would leave America. Man, I'm as American as you could fucking get, dude. I got a tattoo of California on my fucking arm.
I love America.
I ain't going nowhere,
I'll just
man.
Say that too. I love America.
I absolutely do. It's just, but to James's point, it's this time. It's like, I'm not a fan of reality TV, and I'm not. I mean, like, some of it's cool, I guess. Whatever. Like Hard
TV.
Knocks and shit. So like, there's things that appeal to us, I think, right? That fall in the same category. So I can't really knock it as hard as I want to, but at the same time, even then, I'm like, yeah. But what are we really getting out of any of this shit, right? But I don't mean to say like I'm not fucking going anywhere. Like we are so privileged to be in America. Let me make that point clear. Like we are fucking lucky to be in a country like we are. There's very few other countries in the world that are up to the same standard. Yeah. And here we are. And these are very first world problems that we have, where we get to choose who we get. You know what I mean? Like, other motherfuckers, fuck you, dude. This is who you get. And don't ever say anything about it. You know what I mean? So I say all of this shit, but understanding that. And again, this is what I mean, the society, kind of the vibes that are pushed out to you, where you get so wrapped up into it. But to James's point, this time is so disgusting to watch. Instead of watching people like, how are we going to fix problems? I'll create a problem that never existed to start, and then I'll fight that problem, and I'll give bullshit facts about what I've done in my past, which is, each side is bullshit for the most part, and then And that'll be what we're discussing. And what does that help anyone, man? Like, this is, and as voters, we are the ones that get to be like, no, we didn't care for any of that. But we don't really, because here's the fucking 2 pieces of shit in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, and that's why I say parties are bad. To me, it's like gang mentality, man. Like, so again, I imagine, as I started in the beginning with the Great Gatsby shit, right? Here's 2 different worlds. But this is their version of gangs, dude. Like, I think lower class society in America, you have gangs, but they're very blunt about what they're doing. They're blunt. Hey, yeah, fuck that dude, and this is why. This is my territory. This is what I'm doing. This is why. This is my money you're impacting. Whatever. These guys are very conniving and behind the scenes and puppet masters. You know what I mean? They don't tell you that's the mentality. But that's the fucking mentality. And then and even deeper, if you look at like Trump before he ran for president, and this is not a knock on him, fuck him anyway. No, fuck Donald Trump. I'll make that clear. But this particular isn't against that. But if you look at him, he said, hey, yeah, if I was ever to run for president, it would be with the Republican Party because they're easiest to manipulate. You know what I mean? And then he says that blatantly and then does it. And it's okay. And Joe Biden's no better, man. He's doing fucking interviews, throwing the fucking N-word out left and fucking right. And now here he is, like I'm for the black people. Man, fuck that dude. You know what I mean? Like
he thought he had a pass.
Yeah. What the fuck are we doing here? You know what I mean?
Who gave him a pass?
Nah, yeah, this is when he was younger, you know what I mean? So maybe the world was a little different, but fuck you, because if you thought that way then, you think that way now, in my opinion. Fuck you, dude. You know what I mean? The world offered me things where I've grown up through 9/11. It was easy to go, and if I wanted to villainize Muslims and shit, I could have taken that path. Fuck no, I never did. I didn't think that was cool. I thought, hey, I don't associate what one group did with an entire fucking group of fucking people ever. You know what I mean? It's just never that. I think there's too much of that going on.
Well, the important thing is that we don't adhere to these herd mentalities, right?
Yeah.
So but like our whole generation has been subject to them, like early junior high. You could have been like fuck Muslims.
I'm older than you. I was in high school.
Okay, you were in high school. You could have been like fuck Muslims, but then shortly after that, it was like fuck George Bush. Fuck Republicans.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then
that's very interesting. But
and then it swayed back the other way. It was like, fuck Barack Obama.
Yeah. And he was a Muslim, right? He was all that.
Oh, then it became but then it was like, okay, now it's fuck Trump. Now, I'm not saying that you need to follow her mentality. I'm saying that you need to look at the things that bother you as an individual.
What are your issues?
Yeah. So like if someone sat here right now and said, look, I don't mind Trump. I'm like, okay, let's talk about it. If that's the subject matter.
I know Trump supporters, right? And I know them personally. And they're not, these are people that I socialize with on a daily basis. And they're not even the same race as me, religion as me. However, these are good people. So I don't think, I wouldn't say like, oh, you voted for them. Again, I don't branch people into this like that. My issue isn't so much even with the people that support these individuals. My issue is with the individual. You get what I mean? Like, hey, can you denounce racism or, white superiority and you can't fucking say that? To me, man, no more talking. I mean, like, we fucking knew it before, but fuck, it's as in your face as it'll ever be. To see that happen to me, that was something that stood out, and I'll never not be able to understand that.
Okay, but the way I look at that, and maybe this is just me, that happens on every level of civilization.
Well, I agree.
So, like, let's just say you have a boss.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And you know that a department is shit, right?
Sure.
And in the meeting, you go, hey, we're having problems, right? And if they just did this, we would be fine. What do? They go, well, I just think we need to collaborate. We need to rely on one each other. We need to support one another. All I'm saying is Donald Trump in that moment, he played his card.
Yeah, and I get
the
that.
same way that my boss might play his card. Because it happens on every level.
Okay, but James,
it's just a different subject matter.
James, let me say this to you. I think there's a much smarter mentality of how to approach it. I think like this. Look, off the cuff. Hey, you know what? You know what I do denounce? Anybody that's ever taken any act of violence against anybody as a hate crime. That's what you know what I mean? Something simple like that. Maybe you don't come out about everybody like that, but you fucking back your way out. If you want to play your cards.
If you're smart.
Because I understand you have to appeal to voters, which again, I think is shit, okay? I think it's shit that instead of where you stand, it's how do I manipulate? So understand that that's what we're in. We're being manipulated.
To me, there's two things that they do. It's either out of manipulation or necessity.
I think it's both.
No, it can't be both.
No, it has to be both.
Can Donald Trump lose his white supporters that are racist? No.
No, so necessity. But what was the other one?
The other one was...
Are we trash?
out of necessity and out of
God damn.
Okay, I forgot. Wow. I forgot what I said.
So you guys have just heard this and you know what we're talking about? Fuck off. We are in the pocket.
But there's differences between how they can afford to lose battle and gain ground. It's like strategy, right?
Right. It's very strategic, James. But I think and so what you're saying, why I said both is because if one strategy fails, you play the other strategy. Like, this is war now, right? And this is war. You lose a battle, you switch it up. This is fucking playoffs. You lose a quarter, you switch your fucking defense. This is how you strategically move pieces to get to what you're gonna do. So you have a choice when you start, though. You have a decision when you start. What am I going to play into? I do understand that being a Republican usually plays into middle America, and understanding there's very religious values and very different values than you do on the outskirts of America. However, the outskirts of America are where your primary voters are, right? Like, that's the main fucking cities. And it's crazy how this has worked out, no?
And can we just say this real quick for everybody who may be listening in any state or territory in the U.S.? You go out in your front yard and you look at your neighbor.
Oh yeah.
On a daily value of your life, like party does not matter.
Shouldn't.
It
shouldn't.
No, it shouldn't. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't, but I'm saying it doesn't matter. Respect each other. You know what I mean? Like, and I know we talked about it in the past where like you want to hear the other side and this and that, but I'll just say this. I can sit with a hardcore Republican, and I love some of the people in my life that I love to death are hardcore Republicans, and I love them to death for who they are.
Same.
And we need to understand that that's who they are first.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down,
no, that's not who they are. Like, okay,
no,
that doesn't define them as a person, though.
No, I'm saying who they are. I love.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So we're on the same page.
Yes.
Okay.
We're on the same page. Yeah. So like. That is it. You can have a great experience with someone from the opposite side,
right?
And you wouldn't even know because that's not who defines us. And I think this time of year I'm only bringing it up because this time of year
is when it gets hot and
really
heavy.
Charged.
Yeah,
it's really charged. Like, oh, you're a Democrat.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, okay. You don't believe in this. You know, like, and I'm just saying, like, we need to understand that, like, I think you said the other 89%.
Oh, I just throw some numbers out. I'm just making shit up.
The 99% of people need to understand that we have to rely on each other,
right,
to coexist.
So typically it's the 1%, but I thought we'll give them 10%, right?
You said like 9%.
So I said the other 90%. Which, I mean, I think is to consider that like 1% of the world.
I think you said 1%, then you said 10%.
No, I said okay. You have the one,
which will leave us 89%.
No, I said which will leave us 90%. Asshole, I could count.
No, you said there's the 1%, and then you said there's top 10.
So, but that's including the one.
But not really. If you're
top 10, you're in the one is still in the top 10.
If you're no.
Hey, you guys weigh in. I'm gonna put a poll up. Is if I said what I just said because I don't remember it.
If you're part of the top 10, you're not part of the 1%.
Yeah, you are. You're the top 10. You are the one. The 1%. You're part of that. However, it gets more refined and more refined as time goes. If I said 5%, well, now that bottom 5 just fell off, but the 1% still in there. And if I said now top 3, the 1% still there until we say 1.
But they don't mingle with the 10%.
Yeah, they probably don't. They're like, oh, you broke, motherfucker. Jeff Bezos ain't kicking with Joe Rogan.
That's my point. That's my point.
Can you see that?
That's my point.
But Elon Musk does, and he's up there. He's in the top 1.
Oh, he's working his
way. He kicks it.
Oh, yeah, he's all in.
But he's a different individual. I think he understands the power of like, hey, the majority of people, if I get them to buy in, I could do things that I wouldn't normally be able to do. So Joe Rogan is your outlet to the majority of people. Think about that for a minute. How many of the Jeff Bezos? We can't relate to him for fucking shit. I don't give a fuck about Jeff Bezos, but Elon Musk, he's in Fast and Furious movies.
Jeff Bezos, when you were a kid, did you not look at his girlfriend on Channel 13 News? Lauren Sanchez, Fox 11.
Didn't she date? She's Tony Gonzalez.
I thought it was Rick Fox.
Maybe all of them. I don't know.
All I'm saying is that he's a normal guy.
Yeah, but I don't know him, and I wouldn't care that he dated anyone.
Fuck Jeff Bezos.
Fuck. Yeah, fuck him.
Fuck him.
But Elon Musk seems interesting.
Fuck him too.
Yeah, fuck him. I agree. But like, if I had to sit at a table, if I was gonna play poker somewhere, and I had my choice, Jeff Bezos is here, Elon Musk is here. I'm going to Elon Musk's table.
No, and Elon Musk could leave your table and go to Mars.
Well, Elon Musk would leave my table because he'd be like, "What are you playing? $20, motherfucker?" And I'm like, "Man, shoot me a fucking torch gun." You know what I mean?
Elon Musk has. He would leave your table because you are not doing what he's out of this earth.
Yeah, I get it. With all that said, obviously there's a lot of corrupt shit going on, a lot of just negativity every day. And I think, you know what, man, here on the Minute Means podcast, we consider ourselves to be distinguished. And I think we want to make a call to all our listeners and overall, society, our American society as a whole, man, it's just, let's get away from the petty bullshit. You know what I mean? Let's elevate ourselves. Let's elevate our game.
Have a little honor.
Have some honor. It reminds me of something, man.
Self-respect.
Yeah, it reminds me of a movie I once watched. And maybe you guys out there have seen this movie, man.
It was loosely based off me, but...
It was fully based off me. It was a true biopic on my life.
Well, the city was named after you.
My name's not Troy.
But it should be.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
It was a fall of Troy.
Anyway, the movie we're going to get into here, a little bit about it.
It's Troy.
Is the movie Troy. Yes, that's what we're getting into, man. And it reminds me, like we said, have some honor, have some dignity. If you're gonna battle with some fucking pride. You know what I mean? And it reminds me of a scene in that movie when Achilles goes to fight Prince Hector. Fuck off.
What battle though?
Whatever.
What battle? Because once they stormed the beach, Hector was out there. Are you talking about the battle where Achilles called him out?
I'm talking about the battle where he goes with Hector. He's just screaming his fucking name, and Hector by himself. Achilles goes by himself after Patroclus dies, right? Because Hector thought that was fucking Achilles. Clearly was mistaken.
Well, Patroclus didn't wear his fucking armor.
Yeah, he was trying to be the man.
Don't put the armor on. Don't put someone else's armor on.
He put some shoes on that were too big. You know what I'm saying?
He wasn't ready.
But Achilles goes there to the castle of fucking
to the walls of Troy.
The walls of Troy. Well said. And remember, all of this is fighting for somebody else who was a piece of shit. Agamemnon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, piece of shit, right? Scared. And again, Achilles called his ass out on it. Yeah, you sit here while men die, you know what I mean, and shit like that. But clearly, man, Achilles had a high respect for fucking respect and honor and things of that nature, right? Aside from the fact that they looted the sun god's fucking temple when they got there, you know what I mean? And then he took the chick and basically kidnapped her. And
fell in love with her, though.
Yeah, in the end. But like he was basically like just fucking raping her in the beginning. That's...
No, he didn't touch her in the beginning.
Yeah, that's what they told us. But let's be real here.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? She got that Stockholm syndrome. You know what I mean? Which is fucked up. But no, let's get back to the point. The point is Achilles goes to the walls of Troy by himself, okay, to avenge his cousin's death. And he screaming out, "Hey, Hector, Prince Hector, this is your world. Come out here and fight me." Hector could have had all his archers come out. Let's take him out, dog. We done. Nah, Hector's another man of honor. Yeah, I'm going out there.
Shout out to Hector.
I'm going out there. I'm going to go fight him. And I think a part of him was a little scared. You know what I mean? Like, this is Achilles. He had saw what Achilles can do.
And to be honest, once he found out it wasn't Achilles that he had killed.
Oh, yeah. He knew.
He fucked up.
And he said, all right, we're done. We're done here.
The battle is over.
The battle's over today.
Let's go back.
And they didn't like fuck up his body or nothing like that. They let him have his honorary burial or burning, 2 coins over his eyes. You know what I mean? That was a big theme. Point though.
But at first, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, he didn't mean to do that. But anyway, Hector comes out, and then these two one-on-one fight it out honorably, right? At one point, Achilles tells him, "I will not let a stone take my glory." I believe something along those lines.
He tripped over a rock.
Yeah. Right. Hector tripped over a rock, and he could have had him there and was like, "Nah, dude, get the fuck up." You know what I mean? Hector drops his shield. Achilles throws his shield down. You know what I mean? Like, nah, dude. We're going to do this. This is going to be an honorable battle. I'm going to fuck you up. You want competition. You want to bring it. Like we mentioned earlier on here. If we're going to compete, we're going to compete. I want to see you on the equal level. Nah, man. I don't want to beat you because I just threw out some random bullshit facts, or I'm aligned with this group, or I got this backing. No, I want to beat you one-on-one, me and you. And that seemed to me, as I was speaking with James, I think that seemed to me captures that aspect. And what happened to us as a people, man?
You know, we've gone so far away from that I think that we need to look in terms of having that honor, having that kind of pride that comes with who we are. And I'm not talking about political party. I'm talking about the people we are. And like to your point, Achilles went out there on his honor. Hector stepped out on his honor. He didn't have to. He could have fucking, like you said, called in the archers and fucking hit him with the arrows. But he knew, I have to respond here. And that's what we're talking about. These presidential debates and all that shit, your job is to step up there and represent yourself and have someone else go up there and represent themselves with honor. And to do that. And what's funny is that as I say that, it seems so far from what they're willing to do. And I want to encourage all of us to understand that that's where it's at.
Yeah.
Like when you watch that movie, we watch it and we're in caps, you know, like just mesmerized by their ability to stand up for what they believe in, their honor, their fucking who they are. And hero or not, in that fight scene, you have Troy, you have Achilles, right? Who's fighting for the honor of his cousin. And then you have Hector, who knows he has to stand up for his actions.
And understands that the whole fight is over some stupid shit.
And in that whole battle, even though it's the 2 greatest warriors that could fight at that time, they knew this doesn't determine the outcome of the battle. So when Achilles drug him through the dirt back to the camp, they were still in war.
Well, and let me say this, and you know what it did though, is it got Hector's father Priam to respect Achilles enough to where he knew he could go walk into Achilles' fucking tent
and want his son back
and talk to him.
Yeah.
And then get his son back. And he did. Again, honor. You know what I mean? Achilles did some shady shit dragging him, but he was hot. He was coming in hot. You know what I mean? He was like, he told him that you'll wander around fucking hell, blind, deaf, and dumb, or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? Because, you know, you won't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah.
Because he killed his cousin. But then he had enough respect for Priam because he had the balls to walk up to him and talk to him straight up. And the other king, Hector's father, had enough respect, like, you know what? I don't think he's that fucking crazy. I know he came here on his own. He could have brought everything. He could have done everything he wanted. Nope, this is how he did it. All right.
And King Priam, that was his pride. Hector was his pride.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to put yourself in that position of vulnerability and go and do that. And it went a long way.
You know what the worst part is? Here's the worst part about that. Even thinking about this. How did Achilles die, James?
With the fucking arrow.
By who?
By fucking bitch ass fucking Paris.
The fucking lamest dude there.
No one likes Paris.
Yeah, the dude, the Donald Trump, Joe Biden of the fucking battle. Of the battle is the one that killed him. And you know what? Maybe that's a metaphor for American society.
Yeah, because they Paris didn't know that he was actually going there to save the girl.
Yeah. He was
and to save Troy.
They were there for the same reasons.
Yeah, he wanted to save them.
I didn't want to save Troy, I don't think. I think he wanted to save homegirl. I don't think he gave a fuck about Troy.
No, but he
was going to save her.
He gave everybody a pass, though. He would have gave Paris a pass.
Maybe.
He would have.
Yeah, I don't think he cared for Paris. Paris wasn't really anybody.
Paris was nobody.
Yeah, nobody cared.
He was a Paris. He was nobody.
Yeah, dude.
Even Helen, fucking.
Oh yeah, even Helen was like,
I fucked up.
You're kind of lame, dude. Take me back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, she should have never left.
The whole reason this shit started.
Yeah.
This fool James said I was like Paris. Man, fuck you, dude. I ain't like no Paris.
I said you're Hector.
I went out there and fought him.
I said
he did go out there and fight him. Remember? Yeah. He fought the other dude. He fought Agamemnon's brother. Yeah. He was like, "Is this what you leave me for?" Yeah, that shit was hilarious.
I called you Hector.
Yeah,
I'm Achilles. You're Hector.
No, I don't like that. You're not dragging me around. I'm Achilles.
Okay, you're Hector pre-death.
You could be some of the Myrmidon.
No, I'm.
Yeah, Achilles. You could be like my boy.
I'm Achilles because like I'll fight the battle because I want to be remembered, but like I'm not really fucking.
Can I at least be the dude with the axe? Like, or the hammer?
Yeah.
He's just out there fucking him up.
Yeah, you could be that.
He got stabbed and he was like, broke it off and fucked him up still.
I would rather be Hector than that dude.
Nah, dude, that dude was a soldier, dog.
Hector was he was a warrior,
Look,
brother.
if I'm not Achilles, I don't want to be any of them. Or, I'll be Odysseus. Down. He has his own movie. I'm in. I'll be Odysseus, son. We were like boys. We were boys.
We were boys.
I'm Odysseus.
I'll keep you Odysseus.
Yeah, I'm Odysseus. Yeah, whatever, dog. You had your movie. I had mine, too. You know what I'm saying? The Iliad and Odyssey. Son, that's all me. Read a fucking book, okay? Mine's way cooler.
Yeah,
Played yourself.
Yeah, but the movie's not that cool.
Vanessa Williams is in it. The Sirens.
Vanessa Williams?
Yeah. She's in the Odyssey.
What else is she in?
Something else. Somewhere. Some fucking Oil of Olay commercials or something. I fucking know, dude.
UPN 13 show.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. You back your fucking ass UPN. Up. No, that was a racial joke, dude. Wow.
It was not.
That was a black
joke.
channel, son.
No,
okay.
I'm talking about basic TV.
The WB.
What's basic TV?
I was just fucking with you. That wasn't racist. TV? It was a joke.
What's basic TV? UPN.
The WB.
The WB.
Remember the WB?
Fox.
You remember that? The frog.
Oh,
the WB.
Yeah, well, I remember basic ass cable.
You remember the show Unhappily Ever After?
Yes. With the rabbit?
The rabbit. Yeah, dude. Hey, man, we had some shows, dude. Before PC culture, hey, we had some shit. Like, you could just fucking do something. I'm surprised South Park's still around. In this climate?
I find that funny because, like, what's his name? Steve Carell's, like, Office could never thrive now. And... Because they wanted to reboot it.
They used to say a lot of shit.
They wanted to reboot it.
Body shaming and like, oh yeah.
He was like, we can't. Like, no way.
It's odd, but I mean, like that movie. What is it? Fuck, I can't. There's this old movie. Fuck, I can't think of the name. But man, it is the most racial, and I mean it's equally across the board. But it's like, holy shit, they're just saying things. Fuck, I can't think of what it is. But it's like the airplane movie. God damn it, I can't think of what it's called. But I mean, I'm not even gonna. I don't want to say the things they make fun of. I feel like we're gonna be canceled, and we're not even getting started. Shit,
we're trying to get started.
Yeah, I can't risk it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, comedians are getting shut down. That's something I always trip out on. Like, I used to tell you, like, I'd be a stand-up comedian because I thought, like, I don't have to live by... You know what? That's one thing I like about Dave Chappelle. Is he acknowledges that and says, fuck that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what the fuck I want. And people love him for it. I think you have to be a certain level of star to do that, though. You can't risk that when you're starting. But it takes someone of that stature to trickle down to get it, to that level.
Well, if you were a stand-up comedian, what would be your, like, basis?
I don't think I'd have one. I think I would just be day-to-day life. Like, that's all I know.
Okay, so like life. That's what I mean.
Like day-to-day. My almost like a Jerry Seinfeld, but not nearly. Like, to me, like, he's cool and I respect what he does, but it's not my speed. You know what I mean? Like, I like Seinfeld the show. I like the fact that it was a show about just day-to-day bullshit. You know what I mean? His comedy is day-to-day bullshit. However, his day-to-day and my day-to-day are not the same day-to-days, so it's a little different to get into from a stand-up perspective, right? Now, when you're acting it out on a Seinfeld show, it makes it a little more fun, you know? And you got characters like George Costanza, and I'm like, this motherfucker's crazy, dude, you know? But even then, I mean, look at the dude, was it Jerry Lewis? Oh, no, I don't know this. I don't think that's his name at all, actually. I think it was totally wrong. But this Kramer dude.
Kramer.
Yeah, and loses his shit. And yeah, I think Chappelle talks about that. Like, yeah, it sucks. It's just one bad day. You know what I mean? Like, and like legit, we've never heard nothing else negative about that guy ever.
Ever.
One bad day, and happened to be recorded. And you gotta live with that forever, man. That shit never goes away. You know what I mean? It takes a level of star like a Dave Chappelle, who could say whatever he wants about whatever the fuck, and he says it in a way where you're just like, he's not necessarily dissing you, he's just being real, you know? And Dave Chappelle has a quote of saying like, man, you know, you don't have to be the funniest, you got to be the most interesting. And I think like, man, if that ain't life, you know what I mean? There you go. So that said, I'm trying to interest you motherfuckers. What you want to talk about? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you guys like the Troy analogy we gave, because
we really fucked that movie.
Yeah. I've watched it like 400 times.
Yeah, okay? That's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. You get a different idea of what it means to stand for your.
It's very interesting, man. And even the whole plot, like the whole if that's actually a factual story, what a fucking crazy story. What a wild time to live.
Well, I'll just say this too, like doesn't matter what your political party is or what your social stance is. We all celebrate people. Like, there's, for every single thing you're into, we celebrate an individual that's in that field. And it's funny because before, and we're going to take it back to the movie, but before Achilles goes to war, he goes to talk to his mom. And she's like, if you go,
she tells him, yeah,
you'll be remembered forever.
But you will die.
But you will die. And if you don't go, you'll be happy. You'll have a kid, you'll do this and that, but you won't be remembered. And I think a lot of us glorify making that impact. So
celebrity status, it was the same regard, right?
Yeah. And I think that, if I'm honest, I think the celebrities nowadays don't try. Like,
what do you mean?
Like celebrities nowadays, they are celebrities, but that's all they are.
Well, you know what I mean? I think I have celebrities. On that note, let's take Eminem, Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole. Not trying to be out there like that. Yeah, they're not trying to be followed. They don't want all of that. I want when I'm put on a show, great. I'll put on a show, but I'm not trying to be your fucking guy that's on TMZ. I think. Look, we had the question before, like, hey, would you rather be famous or rich?
Well, hold on real quick before you get into that. You're talking about three guys that are clearly talented, like clearly have like they're celebrities, talent, but have real feasible talents.
Yeah,
you know, so it's a little different when they're making their decisions. They can make them more.
They don't need to stay in that spotlight. They don't need the limelight
at all
until they want it.
When they drop an album,
because they can do it then.
They can do it then.
It's going to be good.
They have talent. There's
but
real
then you
talent
got like your
there.
Soulja Boy. Who he got to drum up that fucking people to, hey, yeah. I went with the Draco. Bah, 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 bah. You know what I mean? Doing that shit. You got to. He has to kind of try to, your little pump shit, motherfuckers like that. You're 6ix9ine. There's the perfect one. Oh, yeah. You got your 6ix9ine, right?
And Anthony loves 6ix9ine.
Look, let me say this, man. That man's good at getting people to fucking listen. But you know what's funny? It's like, I think he thought like there was no end to that. And he does all this rad shit and does all that. I think he thought, oh, everybody will fuck with me. I mean, look, I'll tell you, James and I both know. He get that troll or whatever video with Nikki, and I'm like, shit, I'll watch this motherfucker, dude. That woman is hot as fuck. I don't care what nobody says.
Hot.
Yeah. We watched it after the podcast one night. I was like, God damn, I watched it driving home, son. You know what I mean? I watched it on mute, though. You know what I mean? I don't want to hear this motherfucker rap.
You know what's funny? I saw a report today that said he's in the hospital for overdosing on caffeine and hydroxycut.
What the fuck's hydroxycut? I've heard of it, and I'm not just.
It's like a weight loss.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. Yeah.
And I'm like,
what are you doing, dude?
What the fuck?
What are you doing?
What's going on there?
He's probably sitting there all locked up, getting fat, on house arrest.
Yeah.
Probably fucking getting fucking fucked up too. Caffeine. That's probably the PR move.
Who overdosed on caffeine?
Caffeine. That motherfucker's probably just on all kind of shit. You know what I mean? But again, here's the thing. There's no substance to what he does, right? So there's no longevity in that. And I think this is nothing new. This is nothing new within our culture. Is you have people that come out. You got some real talent. Let's take a Michael Jackson. That man was fucking talented. Well, despite whatever you might want to believe about him or whatever you think, fuck it, doesn't matter. That man was talented, and that will live on. There's no taking it away. It's been tried. You ain't taking it away. Not gonna fucking happen. Then you got your fucking 6ix9ines. 15 years from now, nobody's talking about 6ix9ine, dude. That's just the bottom line. That's it. No one, no fucking body. We're talking about Michael Jackson. He was hot when I was a fucking child, but it was hot before that. You know what I mean? Like, and here I am now, 33 fucking years later, still talking about him. Yeah, I mean, imagine your daughter know who Michael Jackson is.
Well, that just goes to show, like, we need to stop talking about the Billboard Top 100.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
You know what I mean? Like, who gives a fuck?
It's irrelevant.
How many Billboard Top 100 Tupac's got? How many, like, you know, like some of these people who have died? How many they got? Not very many.
Yeah, I think too, man. I think like, okay, just something that like Drake could probably be talked about. Drake's hot. Drake's fucking putting hit after hit out.
He's already solidified. He's in.
I'm not saying like I'm his biggest fan, but I can't deny that the man knows how to make a catchy fucking song.
He makes hits.
Hit after fucking hit. All right, I don't have to. Again, here's a respect factor. I don't have to love what he's talking about or how. Doesn't matter if he wrote. It doesn't fucking. The conversation doesn't fucking matter. The man has made shit over and over and over and over again. He'll be good. That's it. You know what I mean? And then one day he gets his royalties back and shit like that. That man will be rich beyond what you can fucking imagine. You know what I mean? Like, come on, dude. And that's the name of the game. And as we say all of that, simply, I think just to come back to the fact of, it's just what happened to us as a society, man. You know what I mean? Like, and it's so funny to me. There's so much propaganda. I remember like I think we brand Hitler as like the worst motherfucker of all time, which I think if you look into history, there are people who are much more ruthless than Hitler was. Oh, he was a piece of shit. But there's people that like, holy shit, these people were. You realize the Great Wall of China was built to keep out like Genghis Khan? You know what I mean? Like this fucking hundreds of years because of what he established. They're like, nah, we gotta cut this motherfucker off. You know what I mean?
Hey, and just because our eyes are closed doesn't mean like fucking genocide doesn't happen.
Oh, it's happening now. It's happening now today. You know? Yeah, it's happening all over the world.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so people are bad across the board,
right? And so we're so quick to just like pick a villain, and that's the villain. But instead, man, look at what we're doing internally, and then first off, educate yourself. Understand. What is America doing around the world, right? Like, we literally go and rape and pillage fucking countries, take all their resources, and then drop our own organizations, our own companies there, and then leave them fucking empty-handed. You know what I mean? Like, man, any of you guys that travel, go to like Jamaica. It's fucking KFCs all over the place. You're like, what the fuck is this, dude? KFC? Hey, fuck KFC, first off. Let me make that clear. Fuck KFC. I hate that place. What you doing in Jamaica? I'm going to say this just like this, man. I'm going to say this, and this ain't going to be the nicest way to say it, but it's niggas, man. Why are we eating KFC, dude? It's the worst shit in the world. Jerk chicken capital. And we eating KFC? Get that shit out of here. I think it's tourist shit, but you understand what I'm saying. You take these organizations, and you try to plan it. It's like, hey, I'm going to say it, man. I don't really want to say it like this, but it's like religion, man. The same shit religion does. It's they go and they want to spread, and you take over whatever somebody believes and tell them they're wrong, and whatever the fuck they were doing is incorrect, and how you know better than them. And then you implement that. You separate them, you segregate them, you make it where they, you know, this is all they know, and then you make them follow it. It's the most fucked up shit I've ever seen. Humanity is fucked up, dude. It's disappointing. So fuck that. Basically, what James and I are trying to get at is don't be a part of the fucking problem, man. You know what I mean? Do something for yourself. Do something to better somebody. Pick people up. I think that's a big part of what Mini Means podcast is all about. I think on a regular basis. And don't get me wrong. I talk a lot of shit, But I talk shit in the sense of like I'm trying to, at least in my mind, I want to get people to be better. I want you to understand. I tell people all the time, you know how you get better? You just be better. You got to get better. Let's work on it. We're going to get better. We keep going. You know what I mean? Like I want everyone to be better. And like me and Jim was saying, and if I'm in a debate or if I'm in an argument and someone brings up a point and it's a valid point, I respect that point. I don't say fuck you because you outclassed me. Nah, fuck. I wasn't prepared. I didn't think about that. All right, but now I know it. You know, let me relook into what I was doing. Nothing wrong with being wrong.
And it goes further than being friends, because like you can be in a debate with someone you have common ground with, right? And you can debate, and then when you're bested, you're like, all right, fuck you. Like you let it go. But the reality of it is like when you deal with a lot of these political and issues that are going on with everything political, like there's some things that just need to be addressed. And you need to understand, like, fuck, you're wrong. Like your approach is wrong. What you're trying to say is wrong. And you could dial it back down to the small shit. It's not rocket science. Nothing that we deal with is rocket science. And for us to expect these politicians to be rocket scientists and think that everything's complex, no. The question is this: how are you approaching this? And then when they answer that, if the answer is shit, you need to understand that the answer is shit. It doesn't matter who it is. And you need to understand that, okay, obviously they lack here. Like we all, as humans, we're not perfect. So if you have a Republican representative or a Democratic representative, you just need to understand that, like, what's the best approach here? And this is why I steer away from the politics of everything, is because I don't think there's one way, but it just sucks that we have to choose and we live with it for 4 years of our lives.
Well, that's what I was saying. I think parties are bad. What does it matter? Why do I have to align myself with a certain pre-established set of fucking standards to say I'm running for something? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it stands for, hey, I'm this way or I'm that way to run. Who fucking cares? You just run on what you are. Like, maybe that would get rid of a lot of the bullshit. But what the fuck do I know? You know what I mean? Like, again, so, you know, man, even hearing all of this, I think, and listening, I think the reason why man has been so successful is its drive to compete, its drive to be better. But I think we take that and then we turn that into a negative in the sense of, now I want to be better than my neighbor. I want to be better than my friend. I want to be better than everyone, which is why we hold celebrities in such high regard, because it's like, oh, they're better than us. I think that's the popular thought, is that they are better than us. They have more money than us. They look better than us. Fuck them. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, if the ones that have talent, good, they're talented. Okay, like LeBron James. Man is fucking talented. I don't think LeBron James is a better man than me. He can ball better than me. Fuck yeah. Let's call it. But is he a better man than me? Maybe. But I wouldn't just give him that based on the fact that he fucking is more popular than me. I don't give a fuck about that. But I think that's what we do as a society, is that we tend to say, oh, he's more popular. He has more followers. He gets 20 million likes in 12 minutes and I get 20 in fucking 2 days.
2 years.
You know what I mean? Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to be that mean. But, you know, I mean, fuck, dude. But, like, if you base it on that, then you lose anyway. You know, like, LeBron didn't start playing basketball to say, I'm going to get 20 million likes. You know what I mean? Like, he played it because he just wanted to be the fucking best. He wanted to be good. He wanted to play. He liked playing. Imagine he'd back that up. I'll call him. Don't worry about it. I know that motherfucker. It's cool.
He's in the bubble right now.
I got a Laker hat. You know what I mean? Apparently, I just got one this week. You know,
bandwagon fan.
Yeah, I'm a bandwagon. Sure. Fucking assholes.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our truth right now. Do you have a truth for everybody?
I feel like literally this last 15, 20 minutes has been my truth.
Yeah.
But let me summarize that.
I'll give my truth real quick, because you could wrap up the whole episode with your truth.
All right, go for it.
My first truth is this: you can learn a lot from history. Watch Troy. We talk a lot about Troy, but history in general. You look at ancient civilizations. You look at past scenarios. You look at how things have gone. You have to identify what you are, and if you're not part of that top I guess if you're asking Ken, the top 10% of the world.
That was being generous.
Right, and that's being generous. You got to understand where have you always fit within society. So history is a great thing to educate yourself on. And I just want to end my truth on a quote. Okay, it's by Albert Einstein. And it says, 2 things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity. I'm not sure about the universe, but we know human stupidity is fucking endless. So I would encourage you guys, don't be a fucking dummy. I've been calling people a dummy all fucking week because I'm trying to be nice. And that goes for me too.
Oh, I gotta try that.
That goes for me too. Don't be dumb. Don't be a blind follower. Understand what you want, what you're looking for, where you stand within your society, within your what's your responsibility as a person, and look at that and try to lean on that as much as possible, because at the end of the day, the way that you carry yourself, the way that you are, the way that you're open to things, it really opens up your world for a lot more than if you put yourself in a bucket, whether it could be a political party or it's a political stance or it's a certain group or it's an ethnicity. If you're that dumb and it's ethnicity or religion, then you're the dumbest of them all. Don't be a fucking dummy. Understand that it doesn't matter who's around you. Just be that person.
Take them for who they are.
That's it. Yeah. So that's my truth.
All right, man. James, great truth, man. And I was going to go at one route, but I feel we've talked enough about it. So as opposed to that, man, what I'm going to say is I'm going to also hit you with a little bit of a quote. And this quote comes from a beloved singer of mine that I sincerely enjoy thoroughly. If you ever watch our Instagram stories, we've sung her songs. Her name is Adele. The quote is, sometimes you have to be cruel to be kind. Sometimes you have to know when to say, hey, fuck off, because you can see a bigger picture that somebody else can't. And, I mean, that happens in relationships, that happens in business, that happens, and I mean, fucking probably in all aspects of life, I think. Sometimes you have to be able to tell somebody the hard truth, and they don't like it in the moment, but it's going to benefit them in the long run. And to me, I was listening to Mike Tyson the other day, and he said, man, somebody around him came and told him, like, hey, man, you fucking fat, dude. What the fuck you doing? And Joe Rogan asked him, like, everyone would be too scared. He said, if you're too scared, you want to do that, then you're not my fucking friend, and I don't want you around me. If you ain't going to tell me the truth, I don't fucking want you around, then you're not my fucking friend. And that resonated with me. I think that's my approach I take with my friends. I'm going to tell you the fucking truth. You know, like, maybe you don't like me. I'll take that risk. Fuck it. I know why I said what I said. I didn't say it to say fuck you. But sometimes I got to be blunt with you and be cruel so I can be kind, so you can get the better results, so you can go somewhere from it. I think I've done that with everyone. I think the people that have done, James has told me shit sometimes, like, hey, you're fucking up. The fuck are you doing? And I'm like, yeah, I appreciate it. I might not like it in the moment, man, but if you're an open-minded individual, you'll take that and you'll understand and you'll learn something from it. So sometimes understand. You need to be cruel to be kind sometimes. And fuck it, if you can't, consider how much of an allegiance you have to the individual that you couldn't do it with. Because if they really fuck with you, man, they'd understand you anyway. My best friends, I could say whatever I need to say as long as it's factual. Ain't nobody going to be mad at me tomorrow. And that's what it is. So with that, man, I think that'll wrap us up tonight. I appreciate you guys listening. Shout out to everybody out there. Keep supporting. Keep giving us love. Like I said, we got the merchandise. The T-shirts coming in hot. 15 a pop. Check us out. Hit us on the gram. Hit us, anywhere you can fucking find us. And as always, okay, bye.